Hello. I hope that rousing intro was more amusing than me sitting here talking at the screen for 30 seconds whilst I wait for people to file in. I also hope the change of scenery today is to everyone's liking. It's hold on, Science Dog he's very confused with what's happening today. It's we're broadcasting live from my bedroom, which is all buddy. But he's like, Mom, we're in the bedroom. This is the place where you give snuggles and pettings and stuff. This is not the place for work. He's very flustered with this. So, anyways, my webcam has died on me, so I apologize for the video quality because this is just from the computer's camera. Like it's just we're improvising a little bit. Just I'm it's like the air quality is a little bit better in my bedroom. Also, at some point, I wanted to there's a decent view of the shit air from the little room out to the side here. So I was gonna when I had a webcam that I thought was functional when I moved everything in here, I was like, oh, I can take the webcam a few feet over and take you to my window and show you here's what the air is doing. And that's not a thing that's gonna happen because my webcam is dead. And my computer, I don't think I can pull the computer that. Anyways, but here's my bedroom. I have a green wall. I hope you're enjoying this. It's Melissa Knock asked how I'm feeling. My throat's sore. The headache medications I took extra. I maybe have imbibed some of the cannabis. It's very dangerous stuff, obviously, took a big risk on that one. But that's you do what you have to when the world around you has lit itself on fire, either through, nature or through gender reveal parties. It's a little horrifying out here. Yesterday when I was writing that quick little Kiko just asked, do you want me to have a webcam sent to you? I actually just ordered a new one that should be here after I posted saying I was going to have I was going to go live today. I didn't realize, obviously, that if I'd known the webcam wasn't working and that my new one was going to arrive tomorrow, I would have been like, oh, I'll do this tomorrow because clearly by then I will have a functional webcam. But this is, for now, just, we can deal with this. Like, you can see me. This is functional. We'll be okay today. But I mean, if you happen to have a webcam that's like better quality than the one I have, like if anyone has like a Logitech Brio kicking around that they're not using at all, like, because it seems like Logitechs are in short supply right now. But yeah, it was damn near impossible to find one of those, at least on Amazon. So maybe I'm just not hunting hard enough. But anyway, today we're in the room. Bobby Edmonds just commented, "You are so hot, makes me want to science, wear glasses I don't need, and quote intelligent people at dinner parties." You can do that even without looking at a hot girl. Science is a necessary thing in life, tits or no tits. And I barely have tits, so say intelligent things at dinner parties anyway. People will think you're more attractive, or maybe they'll just want to bang you for your brains. I think that most of the time in my life I've gotten banged for my personality far more than for my looks. So if there was not pity banging for your personality, I would have gotten laid far less. So at least that's what I've convinced myself, to keep my self-esteem like at an okay level. So that is my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Lauren just commented, "Say yes and have a backup." I mean, yes, Akiko, if you want to send me a webcam, I won't say no. But I could use a backup. Jillian just commented, "Dinner parties? What are the?" Yeah, is anyone actually having parties anymore? What are those? It's you guys need, if everyone everyone out there. Does anyone not have Netflix? Did you guys has anyone watched the movie that's out on Netflix now? I'm thinking of ending things. I watched that yesterday, and I'm still kind of like, it's one of those movies I have to watch again because it's so good. And like, I feel like every single time I watch anything now in which people are congregating or people are talking to people, like they drove to meet people in this, and I'm like, it doesn't matter if I'm watching anything like that. I know this was filmed before this. I understand this is a movie. I understand this is a controlled environment. Part of me is like, you're seeing people in the flesh without masks on? What are you doing? It doesn't matter which room I'm in, the cats will follow, by the way. But anyways, yeah, if you haven't seen I'm Thinking of Ending Things, really good mind fuck of a movie. Great act. Yeah, that there is your go and chill out for 2 hours and let your brain be fucked with on Netflix for a few hours. Really, really good stuff. See, Jillian Ratliff just commented, I watched Away on Netflix and it was really good. I will check that one out. That was the other one that came up in my in my queue that I haven't checked out yet. So let's just ask, how much coffee have you had? Only 1 cup, but it was a really big one. Also, I'm finally caught up on sleep, and being caught up on sleep definitely affects my functionality here. I think last week I was kind of in this blur of like, I'd kind of caught up on sleep and I didn't understand how to function on, being like even on, I had many days in a row where it's like, oh, I slept enough. How am I supposed to feel now? And this week is kind of, back to, I feel normal again. And it's like, oh, I can work. I can keep up with the things. So today, like it's the things to, so let's see. So today we're going to go through a handful of things. I don't like, my throat is obviously I can talk. I don't have laryngitis. It is sore eventually after, doing an hour straight of talking. Like, I don't know if I'm going to burn out on this after a certain amount of time, just cause, chatting, hurts, when you're like, this is not having a conversation. This is just dialoguing, with my cat's tail in front of me. So, my throat's going to burn out. Let's get through, a couple of things on here. And let's try to hit some of the biggies. So, a couple weeks ago, Sturgis, the fucking motorcycle rally happened. And, at first they were reporting, cause, normally I think it's somewhere between like 600,000 and a million attendees. I could be misremembering the normal number of attendees, but it's a huge number of attendees normally. And this year they estimated, at first they said they expected 250,000 people. And I could be misremembering. I believe a higher number of Oliver is just determined for you guys to see his very awesome tail. He has a very awesome tail. You need to be a part of this. And as you guys have seen before, how he'll suckle when I have a sleeve, he's just going to sit there and do that to my arm now. He had separation anxiety from his time as a child, and I have to take care of that as a mother. Anyways, yeah, like I'm not sure how many people exactly ended up showing up to Sturgis. I know it was a minimum of 250,000 people, and these are people who, like, there were interviews that came out with them saying, yeah, if I get the COVID, I get the COVID. I wanted to go to Sturgis. Aaron Schimmel saying pss, 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 to the cat. They do like the pss, 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 pss. So it's you're speaking my cat's language. But yeah, like it was very strange that all of their sorry, I just got a random text on WhatsApp I'm very confused because I have not used WhatsApp in ages, and someone who I don't know their name just messaged me. So that's confusing, and I'm gonna push it far away. It's who's messaging me? It's like I always get confused with the random messages when I'm like, I haven't seen your name in my phone in so long that I don't know who you are. So anyways, I'm like, that's not I'm like, I want to kick my phone off the bed. It's when I see a name that I'm like, I do not recognize. Like, I'm like, I put you in my phone at some point a long time ago, and you're messaging me now, and I don't know why, and I'm terrified. Anyways, but yeah, look, back to Sturgis we go, and off of the me being terrified by my own phone. But yeah, like a ton of people still fucking went to Sturgis, and like these, I feel like, there are obviously, people who are into their motorcycles, that are hardcore bikers, that also understand and respect germ theory. And those are the people who stayed home. And then there had to have been just like it's, you have to remember that wonderful George Carlin quote, that there's, you have to remember half the people, the average person has an IQ of 100. So half the people have an IQ of 100 and half are lower than that. So half the bikers have an IQ lower than, and I get it. IQ is, like we can talk about how that's pseudoscience or whatever. And, an IQ test is not, but like, there are the punchline is there are some dumb motherfuckers out there, and the dumber of the bikers are the ones that did not decide to stay home this year. And were the ones that were like, if I get COVID, I get COVID, not understanding how exponential growth and the fact that even though they might have been young and healthy, they could very easily take an asymptomatic case home and pass it on to their grandmother, which is dumb. And it's what they did, because it's obviously at this point we have like what, 250,000 cases and something like $12 billion worth of damage to this. Like it's there are $12 billion worth of costs to the healthcare system, and this seems to be the largest super spreader event in the US. Now, it's not that the 250,000 people that all it's not the 250,000 people that got it were all at Sturgis. It's that a certain number of cases went home from Sturgis and spread it. And that's a super spreader event, because this is, they've been tracking it through cell phone data, through, cities that people went back from Sturgis with, and from people that were confirmed to have it at Sturgis. So, when we warn people not to get together from these giant events, it's not that everyone at this event is going to get it. Obviously, we knew that every single person, hello, Eric. It's not that we ever thought every person at this event was going to get sick, right? It's that we thought that enough people at this event were going to get infected, bring it home before they knew they were infected, and get other people sick. And that's precisely what happened. It's like every single time there is potential for a disaster, like that every single fucking time, every time there's a potential for something to go wrong, and scientists warn, hey, this is going to go badly because you're putting a bunch of people all in the same place. The same group of assholes come up with the same excuses. There's our lungs here in Florida. We're Florida. We're not New York. It's different here. We're young and healthy. It's not going to affect us. We don't have a lot of cases here. Every single time there's a similar list of excuses, and every fucking time there's an outbreak. So you would hope that eventually these people would figure out, oh, maybe this is an infectious disease and it doesn't care about my excuses. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. This a really good comment from Jason Monahan. It's weird because bikers love to defend their image by pointing out bikers that help out in their community. How do they reconcile the two behaviors? I don't. That's a really good point. Just like I wonder, maybe they don't see like enough of the people that went. Maybe the people that went to the rally didn't see staying home as helping out. They saw encouraging people to fight, to push back on virus hysteria as helping. I don't know. I wish I understood this kind of bullshit. I see people are commenting that there are trolls in here. Guys, just ignore Dan Cox. I'm as usual. I'm streaming through Restream, and I'm not on Facebook right now. I'll ban him when I get over there. Just as I always say, science is here to stay. The trolls will leave. Just don't feed the troll. Don't feed the troll. If he starves off, he'll go away. What he wants is attention. Okay? Don't give him any. Just ignore him. He'll scamper off. So hold on a second. I'm doing something crazy today, and I'm drinking something that's fizzy, and it's not Diet Coke. It even has sugar in it. Someone just commented, Dan Cox is from South Carolina. Enough said. There are there are people in South Carolina who believe in the science. Dan Cox is clearly just not one of them. But look, Dan, like, you don't have anything to contribute to this discussion. Go the fuck away. All right. These are people who want to learn about science and care about germ theory and care about their fellow humans. You don't go hang out with Gwyneth Paltrow, okay? She seems more your speed. This is not the chat for you. Just get the fuck out. Like, you're not going to convince anyone here. You're not going to be allowed to stick around and convince. Just go. Just fucking go. People are asking what the beverage is. It is Jarritos tamarind soda. That is my other jam. If they made it in sugar free, I think I would go broke buying it because it's so good. But yeah, it's the fact that it doesn't come in sugar free and I still drink it means it's pretty fucking tasty. When I'm fairly against drinking your calories, but I'll have it as a treat a couple times a week. It's very good. Yeah, so that is my. I don't know if it's available throughout the US, but I only like really saw them all the time when I moved to California, and I think so anyways, they're very yummy. So scrolling through, let's see, trolls would have us believe that cloth doesn't absorb moisture from Jason. Yeah. Let's see. Oh man, Dan Cox is still trying to correct us on the verbiage of COVID-19. COVID-19 is the disease. SARS-CoV-2 is the virus. Get it right. Yeah, Dan, and you don't believe in any of them? So why are you trying to, could you just go? Just leave. Just get the fuck out. Hold on. Let me just take care of this over on the Facebooks and this is sometimes trolls are too annoying for me to not. It's Dan Keeling just asked, is someone besmirching the name of Dan? Yes, this Dan is, and this is a problem, and we're not putting it up with it anymore. I refuse. Hold on a second. We are blocking Dan Cox. There we go. Just every so often there's a troll that just cannot fucking, they can't quit it. Dan's gone, by the way. There can only be one, and it's Dan Keeling. Thank you very much. So anyways, I love that people are discussing I love that people are now discussing the wonderfulness that is Jarritos. It's so good. It is one of few sodas that I will drink with all of the sugar in it. And I have no idea exactly. Like I don't know if I've had tamarind in anything else, but goddamn, it is just delicious in soda. But anyways, the Cox blocked jokes. Well done, people. Well done. You guys are sustaining life for me. I appreciate it. Anyways, scrolling through, I'm going to try to get some of your questions that you guys asked earlier. Let's see. The one problem with trying to get through questions on the phone is that, of course, my phone is my message machine for everything else, so emails are popping up. But I feel a little bad. My post earlier saying, please send questions. I did not think this through. I posted a picture to kind of, grab attention for it, because I've noticed sometimes when I post things saying, please give me questions, the post, they get a decent number of questions, but I'm trying to draw more attention to it. I was like, let me post a funny picture. Instead, the post turned into like everyone commenting on the picture. Oops. So that's a thing that happens. So, but yeah, there were a lot of questions about Sturgis there. But yeah, it's like that's the thing. I hope that part of me looks at it and goes, my friend Leah McGrath just popped in. Hi, Leah. And it's just quick aside. When I started up the whole this whole thing, there were the main thing that I was doing was writing and talking about dietary science. And Leah was one of the first registered dietitians that I talked to and got to be friends with. And it's been really nice to meet so many people who are just a wellspring of information about this. And it's part of how I got to learn and meet so many experts in their field, and how I got to get all this information was just finding and asking experts questions. Cause I'm only an expert in a couple of little in the things that I'm trained in, and that I went to school for. And beyond that, I've relied on a lot of experts in their field, because it's like I'm reporting back to you on things that I've asked other people about their deep expertise. So I just quick little whatchamacallit, I just wanted to like plug that. Leah, if you want to I think you're behind Build Up Dietitians. If you want to plug the just throw in the link to that Twitter account, that would be fantastic, because I know a lot of people who follow this page are also care about dietary science. So if you want to throw in the link to that Twitter account, please do that somewhere in the comments. So anyways, scrolling through and trying to get a few of the questions from here. So there was COVID in Sturgis. Let's see. One person commented, COVID-19 particle is 125 microns. So they were trying to make a joke about Jesus being larger than. Why are someone calling from Montebello, California? My phone. I don't think I've ever gotten more than one ping on my phone in like the many months that we've been doing the live streams. And today it's like just going. Look. The fire is affecting a lot of things. I think it's affecting my phone today. Let's see. Scrolling. See. I know there were a few questions about the fire. Let's see. Yeah, let's talk about the fire, because why not? Someone just updated me on their pant status, current pant status. It's so hot here. I'm in my boxers. The last 2 days of heat, like today, it's better here today, and this is something that hit me as so crazy about how bad the heat wave is. Like you know that it's like when it's 120, there's no part of you that's like, this is fine, I'm surviving. Like you walk outside and you feel like you've walked into an oven, like the heat just hits you. But today it is 85 out, and 85 we know what 85 feels like, and it's different with different humidity levels. But 85 is never not warm. It's never not a relatively hot day. It's 35 degrees colder than it was this weekend, and that is just fucking with me, because today it feels like sweatshirt, it feels like hoodie weather, and that's blowing my mind how relatively cold it feels today. And all it took was a weekend of feeling like I was walking on the goddamn sun. I had to fit in that Smashmouth reference. By the way, people literally died and or killed people to go to a Smashmouth concert. Smashmouth. I want to know, is Smashmouth sitting there going, yeah, we did a good thing. We had a good idea to have a concert during a pandemic, and they were on it. Let's see. Aaron Schimmel just commented, "That's me with the Creek Fire." Oh man, it's like I feel like half the U.S. at this point is being affected by these fires right now, or being affected by the smoke from the fires. Like there have been some images showing the radar, and it's spread from, like, it's not just the California, that it's spread. From the north all the way down. Eastern Washington has gotten hit really, really hard, and the smoke is just blowing across the U.S. I've seen pictures from Vegas. It's about as bad in Vegas as it is out here. My mother-in-law, and this is really scary. She lives, and I don't know how much closer it's gotten to her today, because this thing just keeps fucking growing. Oh, Aaron, you're right. I don't know how far you live from my mother-in-law, but you said you're 10 miles from it. She yesterday was about 11, 12 miles away from Creek Fire. Of course, it's such a big fire that you could be in any direction from it and be quite far away from her. But yeah, like it's worrisome looking at how big this thing is, how fast it's expanding, and how it's 0% contained. So like my husband's just been continually, looking at the updated maps and, checking in on evacuation orders. And right now my mother-in-law just has, has a map or maps. My mother-in-law has a bag packed and ready to go. And she has a plan with, how we're getting the dogs out, getting the fuck out of there. Oh, you're in Oakhurst. She's a little bit outside of Fresno. So, but like she's on as I like to say, on a dirt road off another dirt road, 10 miles in the middle of nowhere. And what worries me is getting out of her middle of nowhere takes an hour because she's on such, like backwoods roads. So I'm just like, please God, if the fire does hit her area, if she's in for evacuation orders, please let her get out in time. Because that's terrifying. It's really, it's really some really scary shit. Matt Laney just asked, would you rather have a foot of snow here in Colorado? Yeah, as much as I fucking hate snow, I would prefer it to seeing people having their lives burned to the ground. Like, I'm just saying there's absolutely nothing good about, like, I lived in New England for most of my life, where we had ice storms that made us lose electricity for a week. We had 3-foot snowstorm, blizzard. Like, I've dealt with snow in my life. Snow is annoying. It's awful. There is loss of life from car accidents. There is loss of productivity. There's loss of a lot of things. Snow does not burn down your fucking house. Okay? It doesn't cause devastation to entire areas. It doesn't cause secondary harm from you inhaling the snow. There's much less damage when you get a snow. Yeah, I'll take the foot of snow in Colorado. Thank you. There's not even a question about that. I feel like that's somebody who, like, I feel like that question comes from somebody who has not experienced both. Just to guess. Like, this is not my first rodeo with this kind of smoke, because I lived in NorCal before, and we were in the middle of a bunch of fires 2 years ago. If you guys remember me, posting pictures from that, and it was like we were within 8 miles of the fires up in Napa before, and that was pretty bad. Matt just commented back, "Snow is Satan." Yeah, I moved to California because I was tired of the cold weather. And I will still trade cold weather if I can get away from smoke inhalation. It's very weird to walk the dog midday and be like, is it getting dark out earlier? What's going on? And then realize, oh, it's because the sky is on fire. So it's pretty scary. In Sacramento, the air quality index is over 300. Jesus Christ, that's horrifying. So yeah, things are scary right now. Wherever you are in California, like, and here's one of the things that makes this all harder is that we are in the middle of this pandemic. Once upon a time, I would have said, and this is what I wrote yesterday, it's once upon a time I would have told everyone, get air filters for your house, get N95s so that you're not, because N95s are great for stopping you from inhaling these large particles, right? They're impossible to get your hands on right now. So I don't know what to tell you other than if you don't already have a mask with a filter pocket and a PM 2.5 filter, that's the next best thing you can get right now. And please, if you're just using a bandana and a cloth mask, it's you can get a decent mask with a filter pocket and the PM 2.5 filter for $15-$20. Worthwhile investment for while the air quality is this bad. And it's also a little bit more protective with COVID. So please go out and get a better mask if you're in an area, in this very large area that's being affected. A couple people just commented that KN95s are pretty easy to get and also and available on Amazon. There have been, and this is one thing that worries me, because normally I would say KN95 is absolutely great to get. There have been reports, and here's the thing, I don't know which company selling KN95s this is applicable to and not. There have been a couple of reports of KN95s that have been put onto the market that did not test, that did not pass testing, that are, shall we say, lower. They were pumped out very quickly and not up to standard. So I'm concerned about the fit and ability to filter particles of some of the KN95s. That is, I don't want to dissuade you from getting a mask that is probably better at filtering than a bandana, but also see if you can have a look into before purchasing and thinking, oh, this is going to be fine no matter what. Have a look into the company you're buying from. Make sure they've been around for more than 2 months. That is my fervent request for you guys. So hold on a second. Let's see. Too many things popping up on my computer. Someone just commented, you can always burn members of Antifa. Hey, you can get out of here with that talk. Okay, bye, Matt. I'm not having it today. There were videos of Proud Boys beating people up in the street. I'm not dealing with bullshit like that. Just go away. Let's see. Arizona numbers dropped a little, so half the state is calling for eliminating safety mandates. I'm amazed that people see numbers dropping a little and they're like, oh, we can go back to normal. And it's like every time things get we'll see cases go up and then they drop a little and everyone's like, oh, things are getting better. We can open back up again. And they go back way worse and go drop a little bit. So they're still worse than they were before, but they're a little less bad. And people are like, we can open up again. And it keeps going up like that because everyone just kind of gets used to a certain number of cases. And they're like, as long as our ERs aren't completely overflowing, we can open back. And I get it. Some people are looking at this as the goal is to not overflow the hospitals. And I understand that goal. But for me, the goal is to get to the point where there's a vaccine without getting COVID, because I don't want any of those long-term cardiac complications. I don't want any of the I like reading that a third of the people who got COVID, including that were Division One NCAA athletes, a third of them, including asymptomatic cases, had cardiomyopathy that had I might be mixing up the exact heart issue, but they had a cardiac issue. They had long-term cardiac inflammation. Like, these are young, healthy people who still had major long-term complications, and that worries me. That definitely worries me, and I don't know whatchamacallit. I do not know how it's going to affect someone who's my age, who doesn't have perfect who doesn't have perfect health. We just do not know yet. Myocarditis. Thank you for clarifying the term. I was mixing up the wrong syllable in the wrong order there. And endocarditis. I'm seeing myocarditis and I'm seeing endocarditis. I'm going to look it up and figure out which one I was wrong about, but I think myocarditis is sounding correct to me. It's someone just said, is Antifa in the room right now, Karen? Antifa might be in the room. Anyways, let's see. Any wisdom about the Brady-Kinnon storm hypothesis? People asked me about that one on Friday, and I feel bad because I sat here for a few days going, I know there was something people asked me about on ad infinitum in chat on Friday. I have to look it up. And I asked someone to email it to me. No one did. And look, I should have written it down. I couldn't find it. Hold on. I'm just taking a picture of the screen so that I can have a look at this later. But yeah, I'll have a look at the Brady-Kinnon storm hypothesis for Friday. Thank you for bringing that one up again. It's Star enjoyed the side. I do what I can. It's just saying power to the people. Antifa is here. Anyways, let's see. Mike Johnson, one is heart muscle, the other is the lining of the heart for endocarditis and myocarditis. Thank you. I appreciate the clarification. I will forget it later. I apologize, but I appreciate the clarification. These are all just depending on which part of the heart is inflamed, and it's the part that was being inflamed in the college athletes was myocarditis. There we go. I'm enjoying people just being like, yes, of course Antifa is here. What are you gonna do about it? And I'm like, here's my question. When did being against fascism become a bad thing? I thought that was just a state of things, was being anti-fascist. If you hate Nazis, you're anti-fascist. That's how that goes. I'm not wearing uniforms and going out and parading mainly because I'm a pussy. But also, yeah, if you're not anti-fascist, what does that make you? Pro-fascist? Like, just saying, as a Jew, that seems not in my best interest historically. So, anyways, yeah, that got off topic. How did that happen? Let's see. Thoughts? Let's see. Tony Adorno Colon asked thoughts on aggressive air filtration as countermeasures in classroom. It seems that the best thing that we can do for classrooms in terms of how to keep them safe is to have the windows open. Really have air vented to the outside, because filtration in a lot of cases is going to move as much as it's moving the air around, it tends to it's going to cycle that air back into the room, and it's going to, even if it does filter out some of those particles, getting that air circulated around is part of what's going to blow those particles back through. So I have not seen any studies supporting that supports or is against filtration, but I think the best thing that we've seen so far is having as much openness to the outside. So having the windows open, having doors open that are like I said, if we could have school outside, that would be wonderful. But the closest thing you can have is every window you can possibly have open, so that you're basically outside, would be best. I'm enjoying that. I love that the comment section here has just turned into has turned into discussions on Antifa and how the Proud Boys have actual uniforms and they're actually organized, as opposed to Antifa that isn't. So it's Thomas Coco just commented, I'm thinking we should use the term pro-fa for people who are anti-fascist. I don't think anyone, nobody ever wants to admit to being fascist. Is a funny thing about that whole dynamic. You accuse someone of being fascist and they get very cranky about it. Very cranky. They'll espouse fascistic philosophies and thoughts, and they'll yell about anti-fascists, but then you're like, hey, you're kind of a fascist. And they're like, how dare you? I'm just a conservative Republican who thinks that we should have much more strong government. Oh, that's a anyways, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with being against fascism. There's everything kind of right about it. So just keep pushing back against people who decide that it's a fun joke to be like, let's punch anti-fascist people, and then don't realize that means they're fucking fascists. And as I say each week in these, the one thing that's gonna get us out of this mess is fucking voting. So I'm just going to put that as a caption down at the bottom of this thing. So just we have an election coming up. It's less than 2 months away. If you're here in the US, we can make this all less of a fucking nightmare. Go to register to vote. Drag a friend that hasn't, if you have a friend that wants things to change and is open to it, but they've been lazy about it, send them to that. There's a link down there. They can figure out where they can see right there. It has links to every place in the US, every state's the links for them to go and vote. So go check that out. Go have a look at that and go figure out where you can send it to your friend, post it to your profile. All I want is for everyone who comes to these chats to vote and to get at least one friend who is not planning on voting to vote, who's thinking about sitting it out, because does my vote count? Yes. your votes all count. And it's not just for the top, because I know we sit there and go, I live in a red state, I live in a blue state. Is it even going to matter? Vote up ballot and down ballot. There are a lot of important Congress and senatorial races that we need to vote for. These matter a lot because here's another interesting thing that I think people haven't been paying a lot of attention to. We are in a really good position to flip the Senate because twice as many Republicans are up for re-election as Democrats. So we have a really good chance at getting more of them out of office. So, and a couple of them are in very unsafe seats. So it's not just about the presidential race. It's about all of the seats, and it's about getting more people who are going to get work done in your state at the local level. So again, get a friend to vote. Don't just sign up. Get a friend to, and I'm not kidding about this. Send me a picture of you and the friend that you dragged to the polls after this. I love it. But yeah, get some democracy going, and I'll be so happy because. And here's the thing. This does go back to COVID because, I've posted about, Sarah Schwartz has commented, I've been doing text banking for Democrats about 20 hours a week. We need thank you so much. I phone banked, once upon a time when canvassing was still a thing. I phone banked and canvassed for Obama in 2008, and that was such a wonderful experience because, I was living in New Hampshire, and it's proverbially a swing state. Goes back and forth election to election, and it was very close, and I believe almost went to Trump in 2016. And it's I look at. I look at the chance that you have, especially if you're in a swing state, especially if you're in a place that typically is really close. You have a chance to really impact an election when you can reach out to your small community and go out and talk to people. And and here's the thing that I always did when I was canvassing, when I was calling. I never told people, hey, here's here's what, I never went up to people and was like, here's what my candidate does, and here's what they can do for you, and here's why you should vote for, it's my technique of talking to people was always, hey, so I'm here from this campaign. I wanted to know what your concerns were about this election. And after they told me their concerns, I'd be like, well, here is my candidate's plan for that. And I think that this is something that could help you out. What else do you want to talk about? So I would always let them tell me what they were concerned about into the election. And that way I wasn't just telling them this guy's going to do this for you, because that just opened it up for them saying, well, I don't want that. So it's, every candidate has a plan, but yeah, if you're going out and canvassing, if you are cold calling, the best little piece of advice I can give you is ask a question first. Ask, hey, what are you concerned about this upcoming election? And no matter what it is, have a jumping off point from there. There's a list of issues. There's a finite list of issues between COVID, election security. It's whatever it is. Have a way to talk to, have a script that you go through in your head and know your candidate's position when you're going out and talking. And one of the big things that you're going to get, because when you get lists, there are always lists of swing voters, because you're not going to go out and try to convince someone that when you called, they said, fuck you, I'm not voting for your guy, I'm voting for this guy. You're not going to be sent to their house. You're going to be sent to the people that are like, I'm not sure who I'm voting for. They're going to have a list of objections. Have your list of reasons why those objections are counterable. So anyways, it's like I said, those are things that I did. And I feel like I learned a lot about how to be persuasive in an argument from doing that. Campaign Yvette preceded, persuasive writer, and science writer Yvette. And I think I learned a lot about how to talk to people and how to get people on my side from doing that. But, please, if you can spare some time to write postcards, if you can spare some time to talk, to go out and do some canvassing, to do some phone banking for your local candidates, and for the national candidates, do it. It's it's rewarding. You meet other people with very similar, interests. I'm still friends with people, years later, that I met on some of these campaigns. So that is my my big old endorsement for going out and getting involved in civics in your community. Let's see. Kiko just commented, Biden lost the lead in Florida because Latinos shifted to Trump. What the fuck? It's a really, and this is the thing. You can't pigeonhole people really easily in America by voting blocks. There is a very big conservative group of Cuban immigrants in Florida, and I think we look at any group that's an immigrant or that's an immigrant group, or any group that we try to lump people off as if someone's a little browner or a little more or a little more recent addition to the country, we think they're going to go liberal, and there are ways that you can sneak in with a group and get them onto your side politically that don't have to do with that come from you can get people on your side from a very different direction. And it's interesting that there's such a strong conservative contingency, especially within the Cubans in the Cuban community in Florida. And you know what, I look at it and go, that's not up for me to tell them how they're supposed to believe. That's up for us to try to get to get them to see why a candidate is going to do better work for them. So instead of yelling at them for having for being convinced to vote for someone else, talk to them. Go out and try to see what they're looking for in a candidate, and try to see how you can show them that that Biden is that guy and not Trump. Jesse James just asked, "May I ask who you are supporting?" Biden and Harris. I will be very sad if Harris is not my new vice president and Biden is not how to phrase this? I'll be okay if Biden's not my president, but I'll be very sad if Harris is not my new vice president. So, but that's by which I mean, yeah, like here's I know I said I was going to bring this back to COVID in a minute, but I posted about this the other day. They're already talking about pushing, like the CDC has contacted the states and said, be ready to distribute a COVID vaccine on November 1st. Now, you guys know that I've historically been a kind of defender of industries, right? I've defended everything from fucking Monsanto to the food, and I've defended a lot of industries that are hold on a second. I've defended a lot of industries that might seem indefensible, right? That's like that's kind of I go to where the evidence is, and if the evidence says this should be defended, then do it. And I have not done a lot of defending of pharma. Like I'll say, yeah, pharma does. They make medications that that keep people alive. They've done a lot of things that have made life safer and healthier for all of us on the planet. But some of the business practices in pharma are beyond the pale. And I think we all kind of know that. Like it's hard to defend, like I'll defend all the scientists. I'll defend top to bottom everyone that's doing research in those facilities. I'll defend the fact that when they get a drug out on the market, it's probably been researched to the fucking letter, and they probably did everything they were supposed to. But there are some fucked up business practices in pharma, and we all know that. However, and I'm very glad that someone just chimed in with this over on YouTube. HJK just commented, the major developers of these vaccines wrote a letter reaffirming that they will not release vaccines without solid safety evidence. And that's the thing, is I don't think that like they're trying to push back and say, no, we're not going to release anything until it has passed all the FDA guidelines as they normally are. We don't want the guidelines weakened. We don't want to put out a vaccine before it's gone through everything it's supposed to. So given that, given that there's, these trials are not going to be done, like the vaccines that are going through phase 3 trial in the US, I think I'm not sure if there's at least one. I don't know if there are two more. I know there's at least one more that's in phase 2 right now from Pfizer. The main one that we all know about is the Moderna one, right? that's not going to be done with phase 3 trials before November. Oxford's only going to be done with phase 3 in November-ish. But here's the thing. They're going to be done collecting human data. That doesn't mean it's going to be finished. It doesn't mean that the data is going to be analyzed. It doesn't mean that it's going to be ready to be distributed. So a lot of these vaccines are going to be, thank you for the clarification. Peter just commented Pfizer is in phase 3. Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca. Thank you. I love that you guys are here to just thanks for the alley-oop. I needed it. But that's I should have known that Pfizer was phase 3 because one of my roommates, that's the one that she got into. So she got the immunity first. I'm just glad that one fewer people in the house is not gonna be a vector. More than likely not going to be a vector because she had and she's like, look, I know it could be the placebo effect, but I got a low-grade fever the day afterwards and I felt kind of vaguely malaise. So she thinks that she, got she has to go back in and get, a second injection in a couple of weeks, I think. But she's pretty sure that she got the real one and not the placebo. So fingers crossed. But Chris Leeds is participating in the Moderna one. Have you gotten your first injection? Do you think you got the placebo or the real one? I always want to know how people felt after they got the shot. We had one other person comment about getting about how they felt afterwards and that they think they had the real one. So I'm always curious how people feel after these, if they had any side effects or whatnot. And so far, everyone who's commented saying that they've participated in these, at worst, they've said, I felt a little under the weather for like a day, which I will take that over the full effects of COVID. Somebody asked if I was using StreamYard. I'm using Restream.io, and the reason that I chose Restream was there are a lot of different services that you can use to stream to like all your different platforms, and I chose Restream after and I went for, it took me about a month of choosing between services. I think I signed up for a bunch of different ones before finally deleting all of my accounts on everything else, and just going with Restream because it has a feature where I can see all of the chats from all of the different sites that I'm streaming to from all of you guys at once. So this way I can see, I'm seeing the Facebook comments, and I'm seeing the YouTube comments, and I'm seeing the Periscope comments all at once. So I don't have to keep flipping back and forth between services. So that's why I went with Restream. But StreamYard was the first one that I was thinking about doing, and it's a really, really good service. So there are very few of them that were bad. It's just this one had one feature that I absolutely needed, and it was very user friendly. So scrolling back up, there are a few questions I wanted to get to. Somebody asked if Buddy was scratching again. Buddy is always an itchy dog, but he doesn't have fleas anymore. We have vanquished the fleas. Are finally gone. We're not seeing them anywhere in the house. We have killed them off entirely. So the big thing with the fleas was there was an infestation in the lawn. Lawn infestation's gone. Dog infestation's gone. We have not seen one in the house for almost a week now. So and of course, after talking about scratching, the first thing I think of is I need to scratch everything on my body. Let's see. Jillian Ratliff just asked, how do I sign up for the trials? I have hunted. I know you can apply on the Kaiser. You know what? After this, I'll go through and find a couple different websites where you can apply to sign up. I know I have links to those, and I'll throw them onto the page so that people can at least throw their name into the ring. I'm not sure what they're looking for because I would have figured, if my roommate got in, I would have been, eligible too, because we have very similar, we come in contact with the same number of people. We have a similar level of risk, but she got in and I didn't. But no, I'll throw out links for how to get into each of those. Let me go through a few of these comments that I missed earlier. It's Jesse James over on Periscope just commented, Trump has done so much good for the nation. I don't understand how people can hate him so much. I don't know if you're being sarcastic right now, Jesse, but it's that's I hope you're being sarcastic because that's a strange comment to make. Whew, that's some shit. Anyways, scrolling, but yeah, I get it that we all have different views on what makes a country good or not. But it's interesting seeing somebody that is sure that the country is better now. I mean, there are there are people just opening fire on each other in the street, and that's not a thing that was happening 4 years ago. Like this, it's kind of I open up Twitter in the morning, and my first thought is, who's going to have shot someone this morning, and how is the media going to have spun it on left wing and right wing websites, more right wing than left? But like, that's not a thing that's better about the country now. The fact that we have a president who's fomenting, who's promoting people to violence against each other. The fact that we have a president, the fact that we have a right wing media sphere that called a 17-year-old who crossed state lines to go hunt humans a hero, and these are people that have. Oh, Jesse, you made the comment with all sincerity. Good to know that you're a bad human. But yeah, you seem to think that the country is better now that there's open street fighting and shooting at like, what's wrong with you? I sincerely think there's something wrong with you if you think the country is in better shape now than it was 4 years ago. Like, the economy is in the shitter right now. We have an unemployment rate that's about the same as it was during the Great Depression. Whatever you, it's just for everyone who's and not to mention QAnon's a thing. Fucking QAnon. That, and it's let's see, there's like I could go on for a while, but yeah, like, I mean, before, like, I my day job, the thing that pays my bills in many a times is journalist, and the Trump administration has launched an all-out war on journalism. That we're the enemy of the people. I'm not sure why you think that I would think that Trump is good. You just said Kamala has fomented violence in her public speaking. Dude, no, she hasn't. You're making shit up. All right. I'm going to ignore you for now, and then I'm going to block you on Twitter when I'm done with this. Okay? Because this is your... Dude. Hold on a second. I'm just... Every so often I read something that I can't tell if this is... If this is real or not. Someone just wrote, Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. Man, there's video of him attacking a girl from behind. Yeah, people who would find everything Trump does amazing come with no surprise that they would love Kyle traveling to shoot people. Okay, I was like, when I first saw that Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero, I'm like, I need to read all of this to make sure that this person isn't crazy. Thank you, Brian. I was a little worried there for a moment. Whew. Like, it's Jesse, it doesn't matter that you're not insulting me. I'm insulted by your presence. Like, by you being here and saying that Trump made the country better when that is clearly not true. Okay? I don't have to have a reason to want you not here beyond that. That's how that works. It's funny that people think that, like, don't understand how someone not wanting you to be in a thing that they're in charge of works. It's almost like free speech is only applicable to the government telling you to fuck off. Like, I can tell you to fuck off from a thing that I run because I'm not the government. Anyways. Oh, Brian, don't worry. It's here saying, oh, no, the kid's a PO. Don't worry about it. It's just like every time, like, when it's hard when you're trying to keep up with the stream and you're reading things and you're trying to keep up with people as they're going and not read something wrong. Jesse wants solid examples of how the country is worse because of Trump. I think I'd listed off like 12 of them, and you just don't want to hear them. So it's solid examples of how the country is worse under Trump. Did I not say there's open street fighting? And just go away. Go away. If you actually think it's better under Trump, there is nothing I can say that's going to convince you, since I just listed off all the things that are really bad right now. So go away. Anyways, let's go back to some of the things that we said we were going to talk about before trolls showed up. This is what I get for. I say this jokingly. This is what I get. This is what I get for deciding this is going to go to a bunch of platforms. So Someone said the unemployment rate during the Great Depression was 25%, but the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that unemployment is 8.4% as of August. Hold on a second. The unemployment rate earlier this year was much higher than that, and I'm pretty sure that right now a lot of the people who are quote employed are highly underemployed, and there are a lot of people that still have not been able to get their unemployment claims filed. But earlier this year there was unemployment on par with with the Great Depression, and I don't believe it's down to 8% yet. Yeah, Jesse, you are a troll. Let's see. Scrolling through. Buddy has fallen asleep. James Pressler just said, as an economist, I can wreck that unemployment rate defense. Let's hear it. I would love to. I enjoy hearing from people that know their field better than I do. Scrolling, trying to get to some of the questions from earlier. Let's see. Mento Darmento asking, what do you think of Trump not taxing people for the next few months and then asking for that money later? Oh my God. This is bad. Let's see. There's nothing good. Like, I don't see how he thinks this is gonna help. Like, we're gonna let you have some money now, but later on the Piper is gonna come calling for this. Like, this really will not help in the long term. Like, hold on. This is what I get for being hunched over to make this the whole visual work. But yeah, I don't see how the payroll tax being rolled back temporarily is going to help, and people are just going to get taxed double for it next year. Like, you're going to have to pay for this eventually, but hey, we're going to pretend it's helping you now. Let's see. Percentage of people miscategorized who are laid off as employed. Oh yeah, there are a ton of people who are. There are a lot of people who are furloughed. Who let's see. Most employers aren't participating in the deferred withholding anyway. This is good. Let's see. He's banking that he'll be out of office and Biden will be in. So, well, that's a really good point. He's with the deferred payroll tax, because Biden's going to be in office. But hopefully, Biden will be in office. So then Biden will look like the bad guy for hitting people with the taxes that Trump set him up for. I wonder if people who are furloughed are being counted as being unemployed, or if they're just not getting money right now. So they're effectively unemployed without being unemployed. But I mean, we had record unemployment earlier this year, or at least record unemployment for this century. So furloughs are a nice way of saying suck it up, said Lindsay. Oh man, it is rough being an independent contractor and writing for myself and doing this kind of stuff. But I know, on some level, I know that I'm in control of what I'm doing. And I know that there's, nobody can come in and say, like, I can have a place that I write for shut down, which has happened several times. It sucks every fucking time. But I know that, like, because because I have a job at which I'm basically fan backed, because I work for you now. I always have some way to function, to make money, to be able to bring an income home, which is, it's both security and it's terrifying, because because basically Patreon and Facebook can decide what day of the month they're going to have my payout show up. And like, I've had months where it's shown up on the 15th of the month, and I've had months where it showed up on the 2nd. So it's like, just wait, your money will show up eventually. So those things are horrible about it. But like, I also know that I have a lot of freedom with what I do. So it's like good and bad. And watching people who just have no control over if their company is the type of company that has, that has stability, that's going to be able to keep them employed. Like friends who have good degrees, and have the type of job that you would expect to stay steady, have been furloughed, have been told, hey, we just don't have, we can't stay open right now. Like I've seen friends who are scientists who have PhDs, who have steady jobs, be either laid off or either temporarily or long term because of this, and it's been hard to watch. So like it's not, there's no sector of the economy that hasn't been hit by this, and other, like, I mean, I was about to say other than healthcare, but even healthcare has been hit. Like I've seen a friend who was an ER physician get laid off. So that's been like, it's been really weird to watch everything get hit by this, and not know how long it's going to be until people are back to work throughout the economy as a whole. But it's interesting seeing someone try to say that the economy is great. It's fine. It's totally good. Mom has entered the chat. It's like, doesn't matter what time of day I do this. Mom will show up. She's here. I'm just saying. I've got a good mom who's here for me no matter what craziness I'm doing. Let's see. I'm worried about Kat Kentak asks. I apologize if I mispronounce your last name. I'm worried about benefits since my hours have been cut 25 to 30 hours a week. Talk to someone in HR and see and make sure that those are going to be stable. I think that's, get on top of it early, so that you don't come to your paycheck one week and go, oh, I don't have health care. So talk to someone early. Like that is a very legitimate concern. Don't let that one just get away, and hope it'll take care of it. Take care of itself. There's my advice on that one. I don't know what your company is like, but a lot of HR offices will work with you if you're an employee in good standing. So fingers crossed. Let's see. Kevin Wanless commented, I work in a hospital lab. All non-essential tests were canceled. I processed less than 10 specimens over an 8-hour shift. Yikes. Now I've heard from other friends in medical lab testing that they've seen things get close down isn't the word, but they've seen slowdowns like that. One of my girlfriends who works in same thing in a clinical lab, they had at one point testing went through the roof when COVID first showed up, and then there was a temporary furlough, and then she went back, and they've switched everything over to COVID testing basically now, so they've had to change a lot of their protocols because it's high risk testing. But yeah, it's everything's been hit by this. It's Joe Taylor just commented, energy, agriculture, manufacturing, there's nothing that hasn't, like, I'm, the very first, Kevin Wellness. Oh, I'm very glad I pronounced your last name correctly. I know I'm going to miss on some of them, and I try really hard not to. And it's funny because I think like the Anglo last names are the ones that I'm most likely to get wrong, because there are so many of them that it's like, which accent do I put the syllable on? There's, is it an it or an it? Like there's little things like that. So if I got your last name wrong, I'll try to get it right the next time. That's my goal. So scrolling up a little bit. Oh man, Erin Schimmel just commented, a close friend just died last week and directly from COVID. She went to Kaiser and they kept her outside doing superfluous exams for 5 hours. If they got her inside an MRI, they would have detected a heart blockage. She died 27 hours. Jesus Christ. I am so sorry, man. That is rough. There have to be a lot of stories like that, like where people are held up or can't get in to get the testing they need because of COVID, or people who don't go to the hospital when they should because they're like, I don't, this hurts, but I can probably tough it out, because I don't want to take away from, I don't want to risk getting COVID. I don't want to take away from the very hard job that the hospital has of dealing with COVID. And it's like, it's sad thinking about how many people are dealing with that. I'm sorry about your friend. That's rough. Jesus. Like the fact that she could have lived makes it harder to think about. Oh my God. It's your boss's, what? Jesus. Yeah, this whole thing's a nightmare. This is clearly the uplifting science hour with Jesus. See, John Hopkins' death tally seems to be the same as the last 3 days. Yikes. That's not at all depressing. I was looking outside to see if I could get this turned so that you can see the any color of what the light looks like outside, and it seems it seems my webcam quality is not up to par on showing you what the color of the sky is. It's like I can see the orange or the yellow gray glow. Talking is difficult. I can see the yellow gray glow, but this camera is definitely not going to do it. There was one other thing on the list of stuff that I wanted to get to. It's gender reveal party that caused a fire. So that's a thing so this is the second time, like we need to talk about something goofy, because this has just all been way too heavy, and I can't. This is not. I think I'm at the point of there have been stages of COVID insanity in through the last 6 months, and I'm at the point where I've lost my sanity is close to we're losing the sanity here. It is not fully there anymore. But people having I have so many thoughts on this. First, people were having a party during the pandemic, which makes me annoyed to start with. Then they were having a gender reveal party. And I think having a party to reveal to people what your child's genitals are is very silly, because we can get into a long discussion about the differences between sex and gender. And someone just asked what I think of Gilbert's version of WAP. I think I posted that to SciBabe the other day. I love Gilbert's version of WAP, and I think more people should enjoy Gilbert Gottfried's version of WAP. So they're having a party during COVID. They're having a gender reveal party during COVID, which is dumb. Gender reveal parties are already dumb, but a gender reveal party during a pandemic, ultra stupid fucking dumb. Nobody gives a when your kid's a baby, they're just a baby. They're a mewling, crying, little useless at the moment human that wears a bag of poo around their butt. Look, there's a reason I don't have kids. I like kids. I'm clearly not parent material. I know what I am and I know what I'm not. But that is what a child is. Nobody is all that concerned with their genitalia except except the doctor and the parent who has to clean it. Having a party to tell everyone what the genitals are, because you're not telling them anything about the child's eventual personality, interests, or who they are as a human. You're telling them about their genitals. That's really all the information you got. Skip it. It's a dumb party. We never had them when we didn't have them in the 90s. We didn't have the technology to find out what the gender was until the 80s, right? There was 20 years in which we had this technology and we didn't get stupid with it, and then something happened in the 2000s. I don't know what started it. I don't know who struck first, but they blocked out the sun with their pyrotechnics. Okay? Stop it. You're going to know what the sex of the child is. And they couldn't call it sex reveal parties because that sounded dirty. So they called it gender reveal. Look, it's actually a sex reveal party, which sounds dirty, so we can't say it that way. You don't need a sex reveal party. You don't. Everyone's going to find out. The kid's going to pop out. It takes about 9 months, but you'll find out. You don't need a party. If you just want to eat some cake with your friends, which is perfectly normal if you're pregnant, because I hear that pregnant people like cake. I hear that people like cake. If you just want to, this is all this is. It's an excuse to get together with your friends and eat some cake, which I'm totally fine with. So don't say you're having a gender reveal party. Go buy a cake and tell your friends, hey, I'm pregnant. We should get together and eat cake because I'm pregnant. And then when they ask you, are you having a boy or a girl? Say, I'm having cake because I'm pregnant. And that's where that conversation should end. That's all that you should do for a gender reveal party. Instead, these assholes decided to have a party and set California on fucking fire. Like an hour away from me. So California's on fire because of a fucking gender reveal party. If you want to throw a party at any time, you don't need an excuse. You're an adult. You can just have some cake. Have some fucking cake with your friends. If you're pregnant and you're desperate to see some friends right now during the pandemic, invite some friends over. Have a socially distanced cake party in your backyard, okay? You can have some cake without blowing up California. I have faith in you. You know how to have cake without a pyrotechnics display. You could do it. You could even tell people while you're having cake quietly without the pyrotechnics, hey, having a girl, if you would like. You can even tell them you're having a girl if you're having a boy, just to fuck with them a little. Just do it. What are they going to do? Be mad at you? Nah, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Nobody cares. It's just an excuse to hang out with your friends. Not blow up California. Can you tell I'm a little annoyed with the fact that my state is on fire right now? Stop these parties. Stop blowing up the state. Stop it. Fucking stop it. These parties are dumb. Besides, like I'm just saying, how much is it going to suck if you blow up the state for a party and then your kid comes out to you as trans and you're like, man, I blew up the state for nothing. I didn't even know my kid's gender. So look, all you know is what your kid has for genitals. You don't know what their gender is yet. They'll let you know. So just calm the fuck down about the whole gender party. They're done. Cancel gender. Cancel gender reveal parties. Cancel gender. It's dumb. I don't give a shit about it. Just stop it. I'm clearly at the end of my rope. So, anyways, let's see. Elizabeth Cooper just commented, AstraZeneca just paused their coronavirus vaccine trial after an unexplained illness in a volunteer. I will have a look into that because that is information I've only gotten within I saw some, I'm not sure if it was you that commented that one earlier, Elizabeth, but I've seen that commented through the course of the stream. I'll have a poke at that before the Friday live stream to talk about it a little bit more. Brian asked, are those people going to have to pay damages? Does it count as arson if the state catches on fire? It should, and I really hope they get into a lot of trouble for it because fuck them. Let's see. Kate Alexander asked, I'm late to this party, but I'm seeing a CNN headline that they just paused the let's see. I need to have a look a little bit more into you missed me saying just a moment ago, Kate, that I'm going to have a look into that a little bit more before the Friday the Friday stream. Let's see. So, I mean, unexplained illness could be a lot of things. It could be anything from something that they think was caused by the vaccine. It could be that because with these trials being rushed, they're quite sure that everything that's in the vaccine at this point is, tested, has been shown to be safe. When they rush through phase 1 and 2 trials, basically phase 1 and 2 are going to show you that it's safe, or phase 1 will show you it's safe. Phase 2 will show you that it's effective. Phase 3 will show you in a larger population, how, a much larger group can tolerate it and that it works in a larger group. And that's the thing, is that finding in that much larger group, you're going to occasionally find people that can't tolerate it, or that, it does have side effects in a larger group, that there are people that are going to have, issues with it at a certain dose, that you're going to have people that, with other pre-existing conditions can't handle this vaccine or react to it poorly. So it's not even without seeing what the illness is, without knowing if it was a reaction to the vaccine, like this is not entirely this is not unheard of. This doesn't mean that this vaccine needs to be pulled. It doesn't mean that this is a complete, loss of research or that they're back at square one. It means that one patient had an illness and they're being cautious, which is a good thing. So, that's kind of what I can say from just what I've heard right now. We need to know more, obviously. We need to know more about, this patient and the unexplained illness. And we need to know more about what's happening with the rest of the trial, if they figured out dosage, if they've seen any other safety concerns. But I'm not worried yet, especially because we have other vaccines that are in phase 3. But the fact that they've gotten to phase 3 and it's only one blip like this, it's still, don't panic. Don't, look at the, keep an eye on the data. Don't panic yet. So there's that is what I can say about it at the moment. It's Melissa Knock. Discord chat and cake sounds good. Like, maybe I should just start bringing cake to this, and we can have our cake chat. Of course, that would be very sad because I can't share cake with all of you guys. I'd bring enough for everyone. I can't get it out there to you. That would be very difficult. Great. Next up on Cybabe's screen, looking with a cake tongue. Oh, speaking of. I had to get that in there eventually. But I mean, that would be like a little bit of frosting all over the tongue and then just I'm sure that would go over really well with my sponsors. Let's see. It's about one sick participant in the UK. This is a normal investigational pause. Oh, thank you for the clarification, Chris. So it's not that bad. That's good news. That is very good news. Let's see. Did you do cancel any celebrations that use D. Scott? Cancel any celebrations that use fire, balloons, luminaries, smoke, confetti. They are destroying our earth and our wildlife. It's like I'm not completely against confetti if it's indoors. I'm not against balloons indoors. We don't need to send balloons out into the air to eventually choke an animal. That's not a thing we have to do. Just saying. But yeah, don't light California on fire to let everyone know you're having a boy. Not unnecessary. Don't worry, your son will eventually light a small fire that will get you in trouble. Don't do it for him. Scrolling down and I just find a comment that says screen lick time. I got to that. Oh man. The comments to the screen lick are always amusing. Comments everything from you to I'm gonna need alone time. You weirdos. So we're gonna wrap this up in about a few minutes because my throat is starting to get dry, which means I could probably just, have some more tamarind soda. Oh, it is so good. If you live in a part of the universe where you cannot get Doritos, I'm very sorry for you. It's so yummy. Someone just said, I see a Wilton promotional opportunity. Look, my cake decorating skills are bad, but I enjoy doing it. So I'm just saying, Wilton, help me out here. I would love to be less bad at cake decorating. We could do this. Oh man. Scrolling. Trying to get down to the bottom of this. I have to say there's one person who keeps commenting that I'm attractive. It's Nathaniel. I appreciate that you think I'm cute. Calm the fuck down. Okay? I appreciate the compliments. Calm down. I don't know how to handle it. Okay? I'll feel too good about myself, and we just cannot let that go. Right? Just calm down. Anyways, thank you. Glad you're picking up what I'm putting down. Anyways, so see, Angela commented their paste colors will dye your tongue a string. Yes, there. There is. I don't know if it's still open because like everything's closed. There is this little cakery in LA that like has everything set up so you can decorate your own cakes. They have tons of like they're like, hey, we'll do all the baking and roll all the fondant and make all the frosting, so you can just like decorate your pre-cooked, pre-done everything. And like all I want to like it's not entirely inexpensive. It's like, hey, if you want to have a party with friends and decorate a bunch of cakes, we take all the hard work out of it. And like part of me is like, I want to do it, but also does the cake taste good? Like it looks like it's there just to be decorated, not to be tasty. So one day, it's one day if I know the world is open again, I will go and buy a cake that somebody else made just so I can, apply all of the fondant onto it. Let's see. Pardon. Eric asked a question. Denmark, Norway, and Sweden have skipped masks. Do they work or not in a public setting? Yes, masks are absolutely. It's very it's very strange that some countries are still eschewing masks in public. Like there's no good reason not to wear one, and they really have been shown at this point to cut down on transmission. And masks, again, they're not a mask unless you have an N95 that's been fit tested. A mask does not really protect you. It protects everyone around you from you because we really don't know when we're first infected. And it seems like we're most infectious those first few days. When we're not symptomatic yet. So you don't know when you're spreading it the most. You're sick and you don't have any symptoms, and that's when the viral particles are just all over the place. So if you have that mask on, you're not going to spread it anywhere near as readily. So whether it's a surgical mask, and surgical masks are great for this. N95s are great for this. But even a cloth mask or a bandana will prevent spread to a point. So anything is better than nothing, to say the least. But Nathaniel Block just commented, doesn't an N95 only protect you but not? No. So there are two things here. There's the N95 with the vent, and then there's the N95 with no vent. So the N95 with the vent protects you but not others. The N95 with no vent protects you and protects others. So nothing gets in. I mean, oxygen obviously gets in. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. So that works in both directions. But yeah, it's an N95 is the best you can get. But if you have an N95 that has a filter, like one of the not the filters that has a vent on it, like you can see. If you like, a friend of mine did a demo where she held a candle up in front of it, and you could see the air coming straight out through. So it lets air out more directly, but it doesn't let anything in. But what I would suggest, if you can get an N95 that vents, especially because we're dealing with fire right now, if you can get your hands on an N95 that vents, it's going to be better for your protection, right? Because my N95, we had a small box of them kicking around from a construction project from over a year ago. So I have an N95 that I've really stopped using because like in the store, I feel fine going in with just a cloth mask with a filter. Which like 2 months or a couple months ago, I was like, no, I need 2 masks on everywhere I go or I'm definitely going to die. Like now I'll only use my N95 to go into the hospital now. But like if you have, if you have the N95 with the vent on it, wear a cloth mask on top of it. That'll both protect you and it'll protect people around you. So, but if everyone's wearing a mask, if everyone complies, and if everyone's wearing it over their nose, not under their nose, because the nose is connected to the lungs, shockingly. If everyone's wearing their mask correctly, then it can cut transmission down hugely. But, we need everyone to comply. And that's the biggest part of this, is that with rumors floating around that they don't do anything or they make it worse, which are all bullshit, it's harder to get people to comply to this when they think that it doesn't help. But it's like, it's a stupid fucking piece of cloth on your stupid fucking face. I'm wearing my stupid fucking piece of cloth over my stupid fucking face. Y'all can wear them on your stupid fucking faces and we'll all be better off and we'll get through this together. And then we can see everyone's beautiful stupid fucking faces after this is over. We'll get through this. So I'm going to scroll through a few more comments. I see people talking about marzipan, and I'm not sure what I missed. Oh, people are talking about fondant and marzipan. So let's see. I think people are trying to figure out what's in. So there are a couple different kinds of fondant. I've made it with I believe just marshmallows and water, and I think there was a little bit of oil in it. I'm not sure. I have had fondant that has some marzipan in it before. It tastes way better, but that's like the bakery stuff. But it's marzipan, and I'm not sure if there was confusion if they were different things. But yeah, it's marzipan and it's. I mean, marzipan can be utilized in fondant sometimes, but definitely not always. I've had some bad fondant before. It's like it's very pretty for like every single cake that you see that looks like beautifully finished. Very pretty, very covered in fondant. Not very tasty. It's very sad. Let's see, scrolling a bit more. Let's see. I had to stop going to my favorite coffee shop stand behind either noses are out, and oh man, like it's depressing. Like when I don't know about you guys, like I used to, very beginning of this, I would tell people, hey, get your mask up above your nose. Like I would just, hey, nose, no. And it's like now, because it's so far into this, and I feel like people should know by now, I look at like I look at people with that are wearing their masks incorrectly, and I wonder, is this one of the type of people that's going to hit me? Are they going to scream at me? Is this going to be a scene if I just ask them nicely to please wear the goddamn mask correctly? Like, because there have been so many people who have just gone berserk at someone. As you can tell from me lying down while I'm doing this, I'm working very hard right now. But yeah, like I sincerely worry that when I see someone with their mask on incorrectly or wearing it down, it's like that if I just say, hey, could you, that they're going to be like the one asshole that they're having a bad day, they're not here for it, they're just like, no, like it's going to be the time that someone just freaks out at me, and it's really sad that we're at that point where people are, people like me who are used to getting in people's faces about, doing the science right, are afraid to tell someone, hey, can you cover your nose? Man, it's how did we get here? How did we get to the point where this many people are like, COVID's not real, masks are bad for you? Like, and I mean, I kind of get it, because I think people want a much more comforting story. They want a story that, this isn't that bad. That it's just and it's easy to want to believe that when you haven't seen it affect anyone, when you don't know anyone that's died, when you live in a part of the country that really hasn't been hit that hard yet. It's very easy to keep accepting the lie that it's not that bad. It's very easy to keep hearing that lie and go, yeah, of course it's not that bad. It's only gonna, and like I love it when they say when they say things like it only affects old people and ill people. I'm like, do they think that old people and sick people can't fucking hear them? Like, because I'm just saying, I have my mom is into the age category of even with no pre-existing conditions, her age is a pre-existing condition, and I want her around for another 25 years. Like I take good care of myself, but I have just pre-existing conditions because my body decided that it was going to have some due to genetics. I don't see why I don't deserve another, 60 some odd years of living, like just because my body was like, you're going to break. But this whole, it only hurts old people and sick people. Don't old people and sick people deserve to live? Like, I'm sick, not dying. There's a big difference. Like there are people out there with asthma who this is much worse for than people with lungs that are functioning normally. And this disease is far worse. Can you imagine being someone who you're doing your life is fairly normal. You just have this one thing wrong with your, and this comes and fucking kills you. Like, and it's like, and there's gonna be some jackass on the internet who just brushes it off going, well, they were sick. Like the fact that this is the attitude that some people, specifically some pro-life people, so that some people have about this is alarming in ways that I never expected to see. But you know, it's where we are, and it's why when someone says that they think Trump has made the country better, I'm appalled because you know I don't recall when we've had previous outbreaks ever seeing a president try to downplay an outbreak or ever seeing a president try to say that it's not it's not that bad or like this. Like I remember H1N1 when it was a pandemic being treated like a pandemic, even though it had an absurdly low fatality rate. I remember Ebola being like, and here's the thing: when things go fine, when the fatalities are really low from a very deadly illness, we don't notice it that much. Like we don't see all the work that went into it. And there was a ton of work from the Obama administration on making sure that that Ebola didn't turn into a global pandemic. And we didn't see that because it really didn't get here. Like 2 people flew back here and we managed to contain it. We didn't see all the work that went into that. And we also aren't seeing all the work going into COVID because no work is going into COVID. But there was a ton of work that went because we had an infrastructure, we had plans for pandemics, and we had the funding that went to the CDC because we were the country with the experts and the money and the resources, and we are now the country of Trump that pulls out of the WHO and doesn't fund our CDC and doesn't back up our CDC's opinions or medical opinions on things. So that's that's where we are right now, and we've had better. Here's the thing. And we've talked about a vaccine a bit. We've talked about the fact that Trump is going to try to push a vaccine. He wants it November 1st, mere days before the election. There's not going to be a vaccine that I trust to be safe and ready within the next 2 months. It's just not happening. There is no way that there is going to be a vaccine that's ready in the U.S. to that has passed all the trials it needs to, that has been through all the study that it needs to go through, that's ready to distribute and inject into you, your family, me, my family, November 1st. It is not going to happen. Dr. David Gorski, who I have promoted his writing on science-based medicine for years, and will continue to do so. He is on like it's. I don't think I've ever caught him being wrong on anything in any drastic or memorable way in 6 years of doing this. He's on, but he posted an article to his personal profile the other day saying, that if this vaccine, he posted an article, I think it was Kamala Harris said that she would not get a vaccine that came out before the election. And Gorski said, he's like, you guys know how pro-vaccine I am. You know what my record is on this. You know how much I promote the use of vaccines and how much I promote their safety. I also will not get a vaccine that comes out before this election because I don't think it's going to be ready. I don't think it's going to have gone through all the safety trials. And I think it's going to be here for political reasons if anything comes out by that time, because nothing is slated to have all the research done before that time. So if there is a vaccine that is out and being promoted in your state on November 1st, I would advise against getting it. There's no good reason to think that it will have gone through all the testing it needs. There's no good reason to think that that it's gone through all the final stamps for approval. There's no good reason to think that that's going to be that vaccine will give you that it has enough proof to say that it gives you immunity. Like, I would not trust that vaccine to both be proven to be safe and effective by November 1st. You would basically be part of the phase 3 trial if you get it at that point. So those are my thoughts on it. David Gluck just commented, skeptical Raptor is another good source for vaccine knowledge. Yes, indeed. And I would also recommend following. Hold on a second. Just Dorit Reese. I'm going to mispronounce her last name. Dorit Rubenstein Rice is another one that I would recommend following. She's over on she's both followable on Facebook. I think on her personal profile she posts a lot of things publicly to watch, and she's also on Twitter. She's a law professor who does a lot of a vaccine law type stuff, but she's brilliant. Oh shit! Luann Milstein just commented. He already told the military they're first and they can't say no. Jeez. Ugh. No bueno. No bueno at all. I mean, that is kind of what they did in China with the Sino. I don't know if it's pronounced Sinovac or Sinovac with their vaccine. Was that they basically said, hey, Chinese military, you get to be phase 3. I don't know. I don't know what whatchamacallit. I don't know if that's the same thing that they're doing here with that one, but it's basically the main reason why I keep on telling you guys vote is because sometime early next spring, for sure, one of these vaccines that's in phase 3 is going to be out and ready by, give or take, by late spring, early summer. I don't think that we are going to have an easy, functional rollout of that if Donald Trump is president. That worries me a lot. I think we're going to have a much more equitable, a much more functional rollout of the vaccine. I think that the organization behind that is going to be terrible if Trump's in charge. I worry about profiteering off of it. I worry about them not, being slow on sending it to the blue states. I worry about a lot of things that under any other Republican president, I don't feel like I'd worry about. And I'm, it's like I'm fairly far to the left, but I also am someone who's far to the left and can admit that Republicans aren't all the devil. I'm not someone who's far to the left and also doesn't give any credibility or props to the other side when they do something good. Velma asked over on YouTube, is this live anywhere else? We are. Hold on a second. I have let me just throw this caption up that will say where we are live. There we go. Bunch of different sources bunch of different places where you can find this, Velma. So you can come and join us over on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitch if you would like. So it's the Facebook places. Facebook is where most of the people are and where there's commenting happening steadily. So that's I'm attempting to slowly move things over to YouTube a little bit, but that's slow goings. So I'll be a YouTube star someday, maybe. You are welcome, Velma. But yeah, it's basically the big reason why I keep trying to tell you guys, vote is that we're gonna get out of COVID one day, surprisingly quick, compared to other previous. Compared to other previous, deadly illnesses, we're getting out of this pretty fucking quickly. A year and a half from day one to day when a vaccine is approved and on the market is going to be kind of amazing. It's incredible, but we're fucked if we have people in office who are not. Are not there for us to help get that distributed in a way that is equitable, in a way that is reasonable, in a way that's getting this to us in a timely and fair fashion. So I sincerely worry that they're going to make it cost a fortune, that there's going to be profiteering, that there are going to be problems. Again, don't ever take me saying that there are issues with Trump as me saying that the Democrats are perfect. They are not. There are major issues. But I also think that we are going to have a much better time of this, that we are going to get out of this more safely if we have Biden Harris in office, that, we're going to have a team that believes in science. We're going to have the team back that literally handed Trump the pandemic playbook, the thing that said, here's how you survive a pandemic, here's how you get a country through a pandemic. They handed him that. They'll use that again. So I think if we vote, we can get through this. If we go out and get a friend to vote, we can get through this. We're not gonna float through another 4 years of a Trump presidency. Like, all the bad things that he's done before, like, he did a lot of bad things before he was impeached, and then he got worse after he got through impeachment, because he's like, obviously I can get away with anything. How is he gonna be when he has 4 more years of just, no one's gonna tell me no? This is just going to get worse. So, and what'll happen next, right? Is that either Don Jr. or Ivanka is going to run, and the entire Republican Party is just going to all around them. So we need to get them out now. It's situation dire, and it's about the science right now. Like, it's, my opinions on what the marginalized tax rates on incomes over $80,000, that is beside the point. Right now, my opinion is that in order to get the rollout of the vaccine for this to be okay, we need someone other than Trump in the White House. So it's, as I just gonna throw this caption up one more time, just as my plea that I'm doing every single week. So I want you guys to it's, we're wrapping this up now. I want you guys to stay safe out there. I know that it is a rough week with fire and brimstone raining down from the heavens, and with there being more COVID outbreaks. Thanks to with there being more COVID outbreaks, thanks to Sturgis, and thanks to, I'm sure, there being a ton of Labor Day parties, because my party won't do it. My party will be just fine. It's like, and of course we have to have a few moments of thoughts and prayers for all of those sunken boats from the Trump brigade. Sorry about your sunken boat, Trumpsters. That looked very unfortunate for you. Anyways, but yeah, so it's a hard week with a lot of those things. I know a lot of your kids just went back to school this week. I hope that you've driven home proper mask wearing with them. I hope they're doing well with that. I hope that they're safe, and that they're coming home with reports of, all of our windows are open and people are sitting 6 feet apart and everyone's behaving. But I know that they're kids and probably everyone's licking each other and trading masks. So I'm really sorry that things are rough. So I hope you guys are okay. I hope you guys are surviving the fire out there, and you guys are getting getting a good mask if you're still dealing with the fire. Take care of yourselves out there. I will see you on Friday. Hold on a second. Science dog. I need you. I need your help. I cannot leave without you coming to say goodbye to the people. Do you have anything to tell them? What was that? He said his mom's a bitch for waking him up. Any other thoughts? Do you want to say something? Anything? Anything else? He would like you to all remember to vote, and to get a friend or loved one to vote as well. And he would like you to all sign up for Patreon. Anyways, I love you guys. I will see you on Friday. Bye.